of this meaningful goal of yours, this current layer of the onion, this will fulfill you and will satisfy that need, so that when you do go out and pursue relationships, you will not be coming at it from a place of neediness. Number one, love and validation is not the only way to fill the void inside of you. There are many ways to fill the void, pursuits of many different goals that can fill that void inside of us. I'd like to split for a second the things that can fill that void into two different sections. Let's say the first section is the basic needs that we want to fill that are kind of inherently instinctual to us. So those are food, water, shelter, love, intimacy, etc., etc. And this second group is what I'll effectively call our purpose in life. It is the current thing that our brain is most prominently thinking about. It is the current thing that we are obsessing over. And the pursuit of that goal is going to release a lot of dopamine within our brains. Dopamine, which is the chemical that motivates us to chase towards goals. And even though these two columns or two sections that I've just laid out in front of you, even though they're quite separate, what you'll find is that the pursuit of either or the satisfaction of either of these columns will actually let you fill that void, which is the void that sits within love and intimacy. Now, you're never going to get rid of that need or that want or that desire if you don't achieve the love and intimacy you want in your life. But you will be able to take away that void, which will put you in a position where you are comfortable to pursue the things that you want without a huge fear, a huge anxiety. And given the possibility of a failure, you would not break down and you would not have any of the big negatives that would come along with a person who isn't comfortable within the possibility of rejection. So to fill, let's say these are on the left, the ones that are basic to us. To fill those, you simply pursue whatever you need to fill those. Find somewhere to rent, find somewhere to live, move in with your parents. That may be shelter. Food, buy healthy food. Find a source of income so that you can provide yourself food. Water. I'm sure that a lot of people that are watching this, you've already got most of that sorted. You have internet, you're watching this video. I'm sure if you do not, that's your first priority. Get those things in order. Get your basic needs filled. Love and intimacy, that's not something that we have as much control over. So we're not going to talk about that. We'll talk about just what we have control of. Now, the second section. The second section is when something is very meaningful to you. Quite often it is occupying your thoughts more than any other topic. If that is your current main focus, it will occupy most of your thoughts. But sometimes there are things that are meaningful for us that don't necessarily always occupy our thoughts. And that's why we try different things. That's why we search and we aim to find those things. But what I'm going to mainly talk about are main current purpose and focus in life. And that is what occupies our thoughts most of the time. That's precisely how you figure out what your current purpose and what your current most important meaningful goal is. It is what occupies your thoughts most of the time. What do you obsess over? That current thing for me, that's YouTube. Also, to a lesser extent, dating. Earlier in this year, all day, every day, I'm sure my roommate got sick of it, I would talk about dating, and all I would think about was dating. That's because that was my current purpose. And until I peeled away that layer, I was not ready to move on to my next purpose. So Hamza used an analogy once where life is kind of like maybe an onion with layers. Thinking of Shrek now. Let's say we have an onion. This is our purpose. The onion we start off maybe at the core. These are our basic needs to get done and to pursue and to fulfill right there. Then we have outside layers. These are outside our basic needs, and these are the things that we want in life in excess of the basic things that we need to survive. So they're extra desires, kind of luxuries, because we don't necessarily need them. So outside of that onion, we might have professional development. We might want to get, perhaps if you're a bit younger, you might want to get an internship, you might want to study something. You want to build up a bit of status for yourself and make a name of yourself, build a legacy in some way. So you might have studying outside here. You might have, above that, building a bit of self-discipline. Maybe you've watched a bit of self-improvement here and there. And maybe there's something along the lines of self-discipline or mental health, healing the stuff in your brain. That is your next layer above that. And I'll make an interesting point is that not all the layers have to be exactly like that. For example, sometimes I overdo the discipline and I overdo the self-development to the point where my brain needs a rest, because I never used to meditate at all, not even slightly. And that current layer of purpose was literally just to give my brain a rest and do whatever I wanted to do in a sort of indulging, pleasuring way. At that point in my life, for a week or 2 or 3, my goal and my mission was to binge watch these Netflix shows. And I wouldn't necessarily recommend that to someone, but at the time, that fulfilled me like nothing else. And that felt really great to do, to get those experiences. I don't watch Netflix right now, but at the time, in order to unravel after a bit of burnout, that was necessary to me. Once you identify what your current mission is, and you also work to get rid of your basic needs, get onto that current mission of the layer, and you're going to find that the pursuit of this meaningful goal of yours, this current layer of the onion, this will fulfill you and will satisfy that need, so that when you do go out and pursue relationships, you will not be coming at it from a place of neediness. You will feel somewhat complete because you are pursuing the goals that are meaningful to you. And that is what is important to us in life, to feel great and to feel fulfilled. So get pursuing that goal, and that will vanish like nothing else can do for you. If you're new to my channel, I make videos on how to get into a physical and mental state where everything in life becomes easy. I upload a new video every 2 to 3 days, and if it sounds valuable, the sort of information that I'm saying, consider subscribing to my channel. That's all from me.